brighten up those dark mornings. Wheeler, Ollie, and Lecter. Mornings at the cabin.
Mornings at the cabin, indeed. Wheeler and Lecter. Why does that light look like it's on all the time? It looked like it was on. Mornings at the cabin. Wheeler and Lecter with you on your Monday morning. Starting off great with a little technical difficulties. I man this board, or I person this board, and that light looked on to me.
It's the cold.
It's the cold.
Yeah.
It's brutally cold out there this morning. It's minus 35 without any wind. There's barely a breath of wind out there, and it's ice crystals in the air, and maybe don't breathe too deeply. And all you runners out there, shove it. I love you all. No, good on you. I admire your persistence, and I admire your strength of character. Sure. Lecter, how was your weekend?
Pretty good.
Great.
Yeah.
That's enough. I did see something on Yellowknife Classifieds yesterday, which made me laugh, and I want to bring it up to you. I almost sent it to you guys because I was like, can you believe this? Like, why would you think that this is a bit? It turned out it was a toy. So a woman posted up a complaint on Classified saying that she was getting ripped off about this vehicle. She said she bought it, like, the way it was written, it sounded like she bought a car, right? So she bought a Mini Cooper for $100, and it was broken. Right, so she complained that she was trying to get a hold of these people. They told her to stop bothering them. Blah blah blah. So she spent $100 on what it sounds like is that she spent $100 on a Mini Cooper and it didn't work. So there's people in the comment section going like, "I really hate that happened to you. That's too bad." And a couple people who are like, "You spent $100 on a vehicle and it didn't work." That seems about right. Like, why would you think a $100 vehicle would work? And then you click on her ad, and it's a Mini Cooper little kid car.
So, like a remote control.
Yeah, not a remote, like one that a kid can ride in.
Oh,
so like a small car that a kid can ride in. So I almost said to you guys, can you believe that? And I looked at the ad, I was like, oh, I thought this was something when it was a real car, but it's just a toy.
Mornings at the cabin, the podcast.
Mornings at the cabin brought to you by Aurora Ford, driving the North. That's right, and the year-end clearance event that is on right now. Wheeler and Lecter with you on your Monday morning.
Oh, that felt good.
Pretty good. Oh, that does feel good. Title sponsor. I love it. Oh, my goodness. Makes me feel all warm and fuzzy. It's not warm and fuzzy inside the studio right now. It is quite cold, and you know what? It's quite cold outside as well. So if you didn't plug in your vehicle last night, that might be tough.
Yeah, big thanks to Aurora Ford for being the only thing making us feel warm and fuzzy this morning.
That's right. It is quite cold outside. So wrap up warm today. I even put on the Canada Goose jacket. It's my first Canada Goose jacket. It is gorgeous.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah, it looks brand new.
It is brand
crisp
looking. It is crisp looking. I went out yesterday, did some running around, and took out the pup. But we went out, and I went out in a flurry of activity, take out the recycling at minus 40 for whatever reason. That was sucky. Mm-hmm. And I was a bad pup, Dad. I forgot her booties.
You get up on the couch?
Didn't get. Oh no, she's always up there. On the counter?
No, you.
Oh yeah, I got up on the counter. Yeah. But I forgot her booties. Didn't put her booties on, so we went out to Folk on the Rocks, and it was like, she'll be okay. We'll be out here for 10 or 15 minutes, and then it'll be good. She'll have her poop. She'll have a good little scoot around, and then we'll go.
Yeah.
2 seconds. Lifting her feet up, and while she pulled up her one leg. Because she went lame last year before we took her for surgery. She pulled up on her one leg, and I freaked out. I was like, get back here, come here. But she was just cold. She was fine. She was a little stiff, but she was just cold. So we'll never forget her booties again.
Yeah.
I got into the habit of putting them on after we got to where we were walking.
Yeah.
No.
I had the same thing.
No, you got to put them on before you leave.
The same thing with our dogs. Jaya, she could run
right
in all winter temperatures. Finnegan jumped out of the vehicle.
Yeah,
took 10 steps, and then it was just Finnegan.exe has shut down. He just
started
slowly collapsing into the ground.
Oh god,
it's so cold.
It's even colder down here.
Oh my god,
what a puss.
And then he saw a ptarmigan chased after
there
it.
You
and
go.
he was fine.
That would do it. Yeah,
after that.
Yeah, and I think she probably would have been okay after a couple more minutes, but I just can't stand to see her like that. So got her back in the truck and went home and got the booties on and went for a short scoot after that.
Yeah.
But it is cold outside. You got to wrap up warm, especially now. And for the pups, some dogs, some people still think it's a dog. They'll get used to it. And some dogs do, like you just said, Finnegan does. But other dogs who are immense sucks like mine need them booties.
Right.
But she hates them.
Well, yeah, Northern Specials. Yeah. This is their comfortable temperature.
Yeah, that's right. she is a Northern Special, but I think she's just got her pads are dry. So I gotta moisturize her pads as well.
Yeah.
But like trying to moisturize her pads, also tough because as soon as you put any coconut oil on there or something like that, guess what she's doing? Eating her feet.
Yeah.
Nom, 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 nom. So
You put coconut oil in Betty's paws?
sometimes.
Oh.
It can't be Vaseline because then she just walks around the house with Vaseline in her feet.
Oh.
You know, I mean, you could wrap them up like sometimes I'll put on the booties with a little moisturizer in there and just leave them on, trying to get her used to them booties.
Oh, my God.
But she flips them off. So she throws them on the ground, gives the middle finger, and walks away. So yeah, you got to do not moisturize your dog's pads.
No.
I did. I just like her pads got really dry, and
I wanted them to get dry. I wanted them to harden up. So,
right. I mean, I kind of thought that.
to...
I kind of thought that way too. Get that callus up.
Yeah.
Right. But I was reading about that, and they're like, you should moisturize them and then just put them in booties. Like if they're sensitive, just put them in booties. And they obviously are very sensitive because she spent like 2 seconds outside, and she was like,
Yeah.
That's the sound she made. She's a big nerd. But yeah, wrap up warm this morning, and I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you have a new car, like within the last 10 years, maybe even 15 years, I know like back in the day, I was like, if it's below minus 35, you should plug in your vehicle. It's like minus 25 now.
Yeah.
If it's below minus 25, plug in your vehicle because you don't want to get up in the morning and like have it not start. And here's the other thing. If you start it and it doesn't turn over, don't try it again.
Well, I think last month you said minus 20.
I did say minus 20.
I was like, man, Wheeler's getting soft.
It's not soft.
Holy.
It's just that there's lots of computers in these damn things, and like people will still argue. It's just like, well, I mean, you can. It cools everything down. It's like, no, leave your laptop outside for an evening, see if it works.
Right.
Leave your laptop outside for an hour, see if it works after that.
And if you didn't rub coconut oil on your tires, then
that's right. Then you're screwed.
It's all over.
It's all over.
Too late already.
All right. You know what? So yeah, but I mean, yeah, plug it in. Minus 20, minus 25, whatever. Minus 25, I'll say. I'll cut it off at minus 25.
Yeah.
I'll go minus 20 when all users still wearing T-shirts and whatnot. Minus 25 is a good habit to get into. And if you're worried about power, just get a timer on it. You get those timers that turn it on and off and on and off.
Yeah. But if you needed to hear that, it's already too late.
It's already too late.
Your whole day's ruined.
But I will give you that tip, though. If you start it and it doesn't turn over, and maybe max twice and it doesn't turn over, do not try it again. You will flood your vehicle. Every time.
Right.
Every time. And then you'll have to get it towed in, and you'll be like, my car didn't start during the cold, blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, because you didn't plug it in, and then you tried to start it over and over again. That's what happens.
Surprisingly, this conversation not inspired by a brand new morning show sponsor, Aurora Ford.
I mean, kind of. I mean, I know some of this because I work there, so there it is.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast. Hey, it was early. What do you want from us?
We've received 41 applications for our summer internship. I got to tell you, kids, stop sending your pictures with those applications. They do not help.
Oh, I don't know.
I'm just joking.
Overhearing.
Yeah,
last week.
Yeah, right. That's. I mean, some really helped.
It sounded like
I don't
one
think we should get
helped.
the interns to do the intern application. Well, I don't like this person. They're just kidding. But big news out of the sports world over the weekend. I mean, big news, and well, it's more of the latest in it's about damn time news. The Cleveland team from the Cleveland baseball team from Cleveland has announced that they are no longer going to use the moniker the Indians.
Yes.
Last year they announced under pressure, years and years and years and years of pressure. But we've kind of reached a turning point with a lot of these things. After years of pressure and nobody listening, there's finally enough critical mass for people to, well, not people, corporations to be like, hey, we're going to lose money if we don't do the right thing here. So let's do the right thing. And so under a lot of pressure, probably pressure from their sponsor, from their ad buyers as well, Cleveland has decided to drop the moniker the Indians. Last year, they decided that they were going to forego using the mascot, whose name I can't remember. But I don't think.
Name.
Oh, it definitely had a name.
Oh, well, that's
but it was basically the happy red-skinned, big-toothed, feather in his hair. Like, yeah, and I can't remember. The name is announced in Major League, which, by the way, is a huge bummer to watch now. I really like that movie. It's a great baseball movie, but it's a huge bummer to watch because, like, Bob Uecker throughout the entire thing, like, fans are wearing headdresses. Bob Uecker throughout the entire thing is like, oh, hey, how, all you happy wigwammers? And it's like, oh, God. can't I just watch Wesley Snipes be funny for an hour and a half without feeling bad about it?
I thought you were just saying Major League Baseball's a bummer to watch now.
I mean, okay, I know you don't like baseball. I love baseball, so stop. After years and years of pressure, that's pretty amazing. Washington Redskins, obviously, earlier this year, now the Washington football team of the NFL, which is a huge mouthful, but they have not decided. They have not picked a name yet.
No.
So I wonder if Cleveland will go this season without picking a name, or if they've already got one kind of thought out. I mean, yeah, that's kind of cool. I mean, it's cool to see the change. What's not cool is to see the comment section of any story carrying this. I hate to generalize, but here I go. It's always white dudes who are like, this is stupid. I can't believe people are so sensitive. It's like you're literally crying about a team changing its name to a better thing that's more less offensive and more representative of whatever. But like, it's incredible. And like, it's always in stories like this, like a team name, and that's like, let's just keep erasing history. This is why Hitler won. It's like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Stop it. Like, this is a good thing. The rising of standards is a good thing. But I mean, for most of those guys, it's usually just like they're uncomfortable because they feel like they might get called out on something eventually. And they probably will.
Well, and the root core of it is just people are adverse to change.
That's right. That's right. Human beings don't like change.
Yeah, regardless of whether or not it's change that, like affects people's lives and like puts them into certain boxes. Yeah. But generally, white men have never had to worry about that.
That's right.
So they can't really relate.
That's right. Listen, why are all these things changing? Why is everybody so sensitive nowadays?
And they're just changing
back in my day
sports team name.
Yeah,
and it's always and that's annoying.
And it's always good when it's men of a certain age, because it's like, back in my day, blah blah blah. It's like, back in your day, black people weren't allowed to vote. So, and women had to suffer through immense challenges and still do.
Yeah.
Things like that. So, like, when I hear back in my day, I immediately tune out. Because, like, even for things like here, when people are, like, talking about, like, the break-ins that happened last week, where it's like, back in the day when everybody got along and everybody knew each other, it's like, things weren't that great then either. Sorry. Like, it just
you didn't have to lock your car, but I mean,
yeah,
there were other things.
Oh, well.
I'm sure. Yeah.
I mean, like, even back in my day, we didn't have to lock our door. We didn't lock our door at our house much, which, like, looking back on, is just ridiculously stupid.
Yeah.
But yeah, we didn't lock our door much.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had a dog.
So if and I mean, like, there's been obviously reasons that that sports teams have changed their names.
Yeah.
Other than racial insensitivity and a lifetime of activism to change these sorts of things.
Yep.
Infamously, the CFL had the Baltimore Colts.
That's right.
And they were sued by the group that formerly owned the NFL's Baltimore Colts.
Hey, listen, guys, that used to be a team in our league.
And they were forced to change their name for a season while they came up with a different moniker to the Baltimore CFLers. So,
my God, I remember that.
As far as I know, the Cleveland MLBers.
Oh, man, I can't wait. The Cleveland team of baseball players.
I mean, the Washington football team
of the NFL
just negated the Washington NFLers. I don't know why. Like, that was just sitting there up for grabs as well.
I mean, they missed the tick. It could have been the Washington team of football.
The
WTFers.
But you know what? Like, they changed their name. And things are already looking up for the team after, like, the better part of recent history just being in the basement of the NFC East. They're in first place with a just one game below 500 record.
Yay! Was scrolling through the story here. The cartoon mascot for the Cleveland Indians. So they spent much of the year before the 2019 season phasing out logos of the imaginary cartoon. So they've been doing this for a couple years. Phasing out that logo and just kind of focusing on Cleveland, but now they're dropping the Indians name, which is great.
Right.
But just phasing out the logo and the imaginary and imagery of the cartoon mascot, Chief Wahoo.
That was it.
Holy moly!
Yes.
I mean, and like people, there's still the changing standard argument. It's like, well, you can't hold people responsible for the things that were blah 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 blah. Like, people have that for, like, Columbus. It's like, you can't hold people to today's standards. Like, he literally beheaded children. So let's not imagine that those standards weren't there when he was around. Okay,
but that was normal.
It was just normal. People had to practice sharpening their knives. So Chief Wahoo no longer a part of the thing. Cleveland Indians dropping it completely. It remains to be seen what their name will be. I'm sure we'll hear an announcement soon, but I imagine for this season they'll just be the Cleveland baseball team. So standards are rising. That's cool.
Go MLBers.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast was recorded before a sort of live, thankfully not in the studio, audience.
Brought to you by Aurora Ford, driving your north. Your ride to the cabin is here at Aurora Ford Yellowknife.
There it is, the first messed up liner.
There it is. It's only going to happen more. If they give us live reads, it's going to be so much fun. Wheeler Electric with you on your Monday morning. This story for you at Cabin Radio from Sarah Prize. Yellowknife repents COVID cocktail recipe book. Now on the tail end of her accosting someone in their private property to try to get an interview. She did eventually talk to Dana Britton, who shows off her new recipe cookbook. Not a cookbook, pardon me. Her new recipe book for COVID cocktails. What a wonderful idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a self-published book, obviously. It's a book of drink recipes. And she said that her liquor cabinet is just filled with a random selection of liquor thanks to 20 years of hosting martini parties. And at the beginning of COVID-19 restrictions, Britton and her friends started going on evening walks to watch the sunset with a cocktail she had concocted. So she decided to put a book together with a bunch of just random cocktails. It's a great idea, but it's also, for people who do have that random selection of liquor in their cabinet, which I don't really. Do you?
And couldn't host parties anymore.
Couldn't host parties anyway, but it's nice to go for walks and have a little cocktail. I like that. Right?
I was going to give that a snappy little nickname, but it just didn't translate so well.
Go ahead.
Radio. No,
now do
what?
it now.
I think I'll.
Okay.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I'll leave
No.
that one.
Okay. Yeah. No. There's a root word in there, tails, that really doesn't add itself. So she would create a custom cocktail every night, and as she was creating these cocktails, one of the things that really noticed obviously wasn't the alcohol that was kind of keeping us sane. It was the face-to-face contact. So building these relationships.
Well, that's a relief to know.
That's a relief to know. Listen. Alcohol is really getting me through this, but also these walks. But that's part of it. There's obviously a very social aspect to having a cocktail. So that's a fantastic idea. Well done, Dana. A lot of people just didn't do anything during this pandemic, and I'm one of them. Absolutely. But remember, if you didn't do anything during the pandemic, you're still fine.
That is okay.
You're still an okay person.
That's right. You don't have to.
You know what? I
said
that a lot more at the beginning of the pandemic. Towards the end, I've been kind of like, I should do something.
Yeah.
I started plunking away at the piano again. I started plucking away at the guitar a little bit. But other than that,
everyone else just got bored and accomplished stuff, and you were just like, "It's okay not to accomplish.
It's okay, guys.
It's okay."
Hey, I've been working every day. Okay. Yeah. Very cool. You can purchase a book. You can email covidcocktails2020@gmail.com or send a message to @snowbank_sundowners on Instagram. There you go. A perfect gift for this holiday season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've been talking a lot in somewhat morbid terms about the
lack of sanity.
No, the potential next lockdown.
Well, okay.
If it should happen.
I talked to a GNWTer who will remain anonymous, and I've heard some. It makes sense. This is not like, again, I am not a newsman. I am just a lowly host of a program.
I am a rumorsman.
I'm a rumorsmith as well. But I'm just an idiot who talks on the radio. But talked to a GNWTer, and they were saying that they're headed home for Donny Days, right?
Right.
So getting them Donny Days.
Yeah, of course.
And I was like, oh, yeah, cool. That's great. You guys are going to have some time off. That's awesome. And they said that they're being told to bring all their laptops and stuff home just in case.
Right.
And it's not, again, this is just one person saying that from their office, but it makes sense. And I just I inquired. I was like, oh, because everybody's coming home for Christmas. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
And if everybody's coming home for Christmas and especially when it's younger people, it's kids mostly. It's 18 and 19-year-old kids coming home from their first year of uni or whatever, and or through uni age.
Yeah.
And they're not going to want to just sit at home for 2 weeks. It's tough, man. It's tough to sit at home for 2 weeks when you're an adult, let alone an 18-year-old or a 19-year-old who hasn't seen their friends in 4 months.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Well, and you kind of have to, when it's a large-scale employer like that, you kind of have to account for, all types of different situations.
Of course.
For example, people who may be, making the decision to leave the territory to go see family over the holidays.
Yep.
And when you get back, you're obviously going to have to self-isolate for 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. So if you have to do that and then you come back and in the middle of that find out that you're going to have to be home longer, Yeah, it just helps everyone to just already have your stuff at home.
That's
so
right.
You can just start working from home and pick up from there.
That's right. And also, if you're 19, it helps to have COVID Cocktails Cookbook.
That's right.
That's right. It might help you a little bit through the holiday season. But I mean, also, like, are you okay? So here's a question. As Dana was saying in the story, are you able to do, even if you're isolating, you can't do like a socially distanced walk? I mean, you're not supposed to, right?
I mean, I think as long as you stay away from all other people.
I don't think we're supposed to encourage that, but I mean,
they have.
I think,
since the start being encouraging people.
Okay.
Yeah, like go for a walk outside, like go around the block, just make sure you're keeping distance from people and not, just like, touching every surface you can.
Even if it's just the trees and the rocks and the animals?
I mean, if you have got your gloves on, I guess it's okay. But
Fair enough.
I mean, like just no unnecessary touching.
That's right.
No unnecessary coughing or sneezing.
Again, for 18 and 19-year-olds, that's tough.
Wear your mask, preferably.
That's tough, man. For kids that age, summer and summer break and winter break, I mean, this is the time.
The time to touch things.
This is the time to touch things. Yes, that's how I was going to put it.
The nice thing is up here with, if that should happen, minus 35, it's a great reason to wear a mask anyway.
That's right.
You're going to want to cover that face.
All right, and if you're touching things, you don't want to expose your bare skin, put on your mitts and touch everything you want.
It's not even any extra effort to wear a mask or buff or scarf.
Oh,
there's not even a reason to complain.
Yeah, it's one of the great things of living up here that you can, be kind of intimate while still wearing your snowsuit. It's practiced. Anywho, try to stay socially distanced, but go if you want to get a taste of this COVID cocktail recipe book. Wonderful stuff, Dana. COVID Cocktails 2020 at gmail.com, or send a message to @snowbank_sundowners on Instagram to get yourself a copy of that book. Selling for $20.20. Wink.
The Mornings at the Cabin podcast.
Ollie joins us to pick out the winner for last week's Delo or no Delo. We're kind of all over the schedule on Delo or no Delo lately. That was open for discussion.
Correct?
Yep. But we dropped it on Friday. How many guesses did we get?
We got more than 50, of which 18 were correct.
50 and 18 were correct. Now, I remember the picture, yes, and I know the answer. Only 18 were correct.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that one was a bit of a more challenging one. If you don't go through Delo much, this one was a bit more challenging.
Well, I feel like you've given away the answer there. Okay. So the answer was Delo.
Well, because all the answers are in, so...
I was going to see if Lecter knew.
I would have guessed Delo, actually.
There you go. Yeah, well, now we have.
So
I think
I was up against a rock face.
Yes.
And there's a couple of places in your life it could be.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Right. I would guess...
Sorry for giving away the answer.
Oh, it's fine. People already made their guesses.
That's right.
Is like Great Slave Lake, like the person who took the photo, were they on a boat?
No.
No. Okay.
No,
That's not
we
where
didn't
I
go
thought
up
it
into
was
like a
then.
cliff face overlooking the water.
Well, I mean, that kind of looks like
It does kind of look like it. So no, we're across the road from there's a road and then there's a couple houses and then there's the lake. So we're right near the lake.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I mean, it is Delo or no Delo.
Oh, no Delo.
Generally, you're near a lake wherever you are.
That's right. Only 9 comments on the original post though. Where the rest came in from Instagram.
No, there's like 50 comments on the original
It says
post.
9.
Obviously, most people have blocked you.
Yeah,
So,
fair
so we've got 18 of the answers were correct.
Oh, is that what that means?
Okay.
And therefore, we will do our usual draw to eliminate people here. Mr.
Absolutely.
Wheeler, can you give me a number?
Between 1 and what?
18.
1 and 18. Oh, that's of the people who got it correct. That's right. Between 1 and 18, 14.
Jennifer Mary, I have to think this is the second time in a row that you've been
Damn.
during the
Jenny. Sorry.
the draw. Sorry about that. Lecter, give me one more for us to reject.
Let's go with 16.
Number 16, Tammy Sundberg. Sorry, Tammy.
Sorry, Tams.
Not today. My
I
apologies.
feel like I've eliminated Tammy before, too.
Well,
That's fine.
They just need to be lucky. Which leaves our winner this week, Mr. Wheeler.
Number 4.
Number 4, Krista Quinn. Congratulations.
Hey, you got a pair of socks.
Hey, congratulations, Krista.
Right
Krista
on.
wins free Erasmus Apparel socks. Erasmus Apparel for all your festive shopping needs.
For all your
especially for
Erasmus apparel needs, go to Erasmus Apparel. I'm gonna put a challenge. She might be sold out of them already, but she's got these wicked new sweatpants in. I think that should be the last prize before Christmas.
You're not the first person I've heard bring
Say
up
that.
these sweatpants.
They're beautiful.
And how great they are. I haven't seen a picture yet.
I want to get a pair of them. If they're not sold out already, I'll head down there. But maybe if I get down there and get a pair of them, then we'll give them away.
They are pretty awesome.
They are pretty awesome. And I mean, those are top ticket items, so I don't know. I don't know if she'll make it a prize, but
She won.
she would. She should. I think
She won't.
she won't.
For this contest? No.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That does it for another edition of Delo or No Delo. We'll be back again this week
Yeah.
at some point. Friday? Are we doing it Fridays now?
No, you guys are all complaining, so we'll go back to Wednesday.
We're not complaining. We were doing it on Tuesdays before.
We're just trying to get some consistency.
That's all,
here.
right?
That's all.
So when?
All right.
Wednesdays, you guys wanted?
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We usually
I mean,
do,
it's not
usually
our
do it on
contest,
Tuesdays.
but
Yeah, it's
you
not
know,
our contest.
It's
I
theirs.
got a minute.
You know.
I swear that I heard you guys say earlier on this morning you wanted to do it on Wednesdays to plug clams and moose on the same
No,
day.
I
that's
just
what
said
he
that would
said.
make the most sense.
That would make
Okay.
the most sense.
Yeah.
So do we want to do the thing that makes the most sense?
Probably.
I don't know.
I mean, it's not our
geez.
style.
It's not. Yeah,
but-
it's not really what
Okay.
we do here.
Yeah, we could
Okay,
give
so
it
we're
a
going to do it
shot.
on Sundays.
Yeah.
Sundays.
Well, Sundays.
Sundays.
Wednesdays is fine. Great. Next episode of Delo or No Delo will be Wednesday. It remains to be seen what the prize will be, but we'll let you guys know on Wednesday if we were in Delo or... Well, you get to choose if we were in Delo or No Delo.
Well, you don't get to choose.
Well, you do get to
guess.
choose. You get to guess. I mean, guessing is a choice.
That's true.
You can choose not to guess if you want.
True or false?
True or false? It's a choice or a guess. Yes. All right. Well, that's going to do it for Mornings at the Cabin for this morning. Remember to wrap up warm. It's gotten a degree colder since we've been in here.
Oh, my
It was
God.
minus 35 when we got here. It's minus 36 now. Remember, plug in your vehicles. If it's below minus 25, it just makes sense. If you don't want to use that much power, put a timer on it. Boom, boom, boom. And then you won't be stuck in the morning with a car that won't start. It's cold, and electronics are hurt by cold.
And if the Bromley crew is listening, there is still no heat coming out of our heater here.
That's right. Came and checked it out. Still no heat coming in. It's okay.
You get a little bit of heat?
There's a little bit of heat.
Oh, okay.
All right.
All right.
Let's turn that up.
Everyone huddle over here.
Yeah, he just brought in a piece of burning coal and pasted it in the corner of the room.
Yeah.
We can all warm our hands around this.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll have yourselves a wonderful morning and day. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Mornings again, brought to you by Aurora Ford. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening. Check out more from the show at cabinradio.ca and by following the Mornings at the Cabin Facebook page.